No, I said sea hag.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it just glitched out for a second.
I still believe I can fly.
Yeah, surely.
Do you believe I can? We're on. Do you believe I can fly?
I do. I do believe you can fly.
I'm gonna go and jump off my
There it is.
1 foot balcony and see if it works.
No, not like really fly. I thought you meant in life.
No. Hey team, how we going? You're probably about to jump back on. It's Kaz and
And Lauren, I
you're
think
my
you're still laggy.
yeah, still laggy.
It's looking laggy. I don't know if it sounds laggy. We need Cam to tell us.
Okay. Well, we've got Lauren here. We've got Cameron Rowbottom here. Row your bottom gently down the stream. Campy Thorn is here. It's better than a DJ Brown, not DJI Brown flying device. We've got Fugly. He's here. He's just got out of work. The poor bastard is in the WA. All he wants is a frickin' phone call, and we're trying to get him at that backward South African time zone that he's in. Makes it bloody hard.
Come on now, I'm West Side.
We've got okay, West Side, but you're actually South Side now.
Now I am South.
The two-headed snake. Nicole King, how you going, mate? Good to have you here. Are you king? Queen? Aaron Mills, the long-armed right marker. Waitsy, how you going, mate? Good to have you all. Thumbs up if it's running smooth, team. If it's still jumpy, this might be time to out of the village and start planning a weekend.
Aaron Mills says it's laggy. Yeah, it looks laggy too on my tablet.
Okay, let's let him know.
Let's say goodnight.
Yeah, okay. Fella shit went for a run. Now my problems are solved. That's awesome. Just call me Your Highness, says Nicole King. King. Your Highness. It looks like it's working all right now.
Is it?
Looks like it.
Yeah, it does look like it from here too. Well, let's just give it a little longer.
Okay. So, team, if...
Here for a little bit, and they'll tell us when it's crap.
Yeah, let's chill for a little while, team, and just make sure that it isn't, totally bad. Put some thumbs up there. B Stubbsy, good to have you here, mate. I wish I had a stub in my hand right now, but I can't be trusted with alcohol in my system. I'm too immature.
I can't be trusted either.
Aaron's gone for a run. He's come back. He reckons he's cured everything. He feels great. That's the thing. It's getting out and actually doing the work that sucks until you get into a routine. Speaking of being fit to fight, I threw me back out beating my PB on deadlifts. Oh,
Youch.
deadlifts. I don't know what I think about them. Don't get me wrong, I've got no butt. I've got no ass because I've had a back injury for so long now that my ass has fallen away like a bloody sandbank on Stockton Beach. But
You keep saying that, but that's
Gabriel.
not true.
No, it is. I'm a buttless wonder.
I've seen your butt. You have one.
I sat on the ground and no one said, "Don't drop your butts here." Minnie Lou, g'day mate, how you going? Also, how do I get the ranks? Mate, to get the ranks, all you need to do there, Minnie Lou, is go onto the join button beside the subscribe button. I don't know if you can do it on a mobile device. And you just press the join button. And
Yeah,
you
do it from a PC.
yeah. And then you just join in, man. And then each month you go up a rank until you get to section commander. And then you got to do your time. And then it takes 6 months total. And you'll be, bam, sergeant, sargento, as they would say in Spanish.
Oh, that's serious.
That's going to be exciting when we get the first sergeant.
It is. I remember when we were all watching, waiting for the first rank to come in.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, please let it work.
Yeah, and it did.
I thought, this can't be fake news, can it? YouTube is saying it's having trouble there too. It's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming.
Guys, tell us if it's...
Maybe I've got a face that can sink ships at the moment. I don't know. Maybe it's jealous of my hair follically rejoicing hairline.
Your abundance there, which is rare amongst our friends, really.
It is.
At our age.
Harpy, g'day, he's back. H23. Guys, that's how bad my eyes are. My hair might be laughing and kicking goals, but I'm telling you now, my eyes might as well be two brown eyes, and I don't mean in colour. I mean unwiped 6 o'clock valves. You know, the kind of wink that a sailor likes to whistle at.
Yeah, I'm too quiet again, Carl says.
Wait a sec. Back at what he's saying is he can still hear me.
Yeah. Oh, I see how it is.
This is actually the third or fourth attempt, Nathan.
Yeah.
You know, the Google, the Google has got a jihad on Kaz.
Yep. Come on, now we don't need gremlins. Let's not add gremlins to
Kaz,
our troubles.
can we turn the sound up on Lauren? We just did. That's as high as it can go. That should be loud now. She's basically eating the mic, if you can see it.
Me? Yeah. Rob said it's good, his end.
Look at that.
That's good. Yep.
That's Lauren there, right there.
Where?
Look at it on the screen.
Oh, no.
She's resting on the mic. It doesn't get louder than that. Tasmanian devil.
There's not much point in me being any louder.
If you're possessed in Tasmania, does that make you Tasmanian devil?
I guess, but does it make you a devil if you're possessed?
No.
Don't demons do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He doesn't get off his throne to just be a dick.
Yeah. You know, he wouldn't waste his time with that.
And Modi reckon that's a pessimist. I'm now preparing for the stream to go back down.
Yeah. No, that's a realist. Let's be honest. After this many times.
Blakey O has got his assessment on Tuesday. Hope all goes well. I hope it does too, Blake. You know, the assessment day, it should be an easy day. It should be an easy day for you, mate. It still comes with anxiety because they're going to ask you all about why you want to join. Sure, you know that. They're going to ask you psychological questions, but it's going to be a conversation. You know, they're going to ask you to take your pants off, walk like a duck, and see if any chicken legs fall out of the of the drain.
Oh,
you know,
good heavens.
They're going to ask if you're gay. If you say no, they're going to kiss you to prove you're not. No, they're not. They won't do that.
Maybe once upon a time, but not now.
It's actually going to look like this screen that we're on right now in the trenches with Kaz. I've got hallway 21 there. I didn't actually redo that one. And that's going to be them looking out at you asking you questions.
Yeah.
all of them are going to be every corps except the one you want to join. When you go, I want to go to infantry. That's the way they're going to look back at you. Why would you want to do that? You go, because if I don't, you're going to have to.
Yeah, they're all judging you.
Got Sebastian, Kaz, if Australia were to go to war, would you re-enlist? Mate, I would be in the army now if I wasn't discharged medically.
Yeah, exactly.
But the answer probably would be no now. I would go in there to support. You know, I would go in there to assist with the leadership, with tactics and leadership training and stuff like that, because I can make more effect by working with young officers than what I can individually, one person at a time with private soldiers. But I would, any time, if the Australian Army said, Kaz, do you want to come and do volunteer hours here, public speaking on mental health, on dealing with mental health after discharge? Yeah, absolutely I'd do that. I'd go to the School of Infantry or Kapuka to go down there and speak to the people that are in the rehabilitation wing where things haven't worked out because gravity hates people. One hits. Going to Kapuka on Friday. Oney, what's going to be your last meal?
Exciting.
Are you going as Army Reserve? Normally people go in on the Mondays and Tuesday. Whereabouts in Australia are you, mate? Third time lucky, Kaz. ABF, attack by fire, as we like to call it. Yaros, my favourite kebab. It was average, but all good. Now good stream. Cheers, man.
I think you're thinking of gyros.
Yeah, I am. But when I see Yaros, I start to think of it. Somewhere between Prius and gyro.
Like a mnemonic device.
Cookie Monster's back. What beautiful eyes you have, Cookie Monster. Gabriel, one of my favourite names, is up there. How you going? Tomorrow, what are you going to do, Kaz? No one's asked me. I'll tell you. tomorrow morning I'm going to get up, and I'm not sure what time to get up, but bloody early, and I'm going to go down to Wollongong, the enemy of Newcastle, Steeltown disciple. He's a legend of his town. And I go down there and I'm looking for one photo. One photo.
Anything in particular?
I'm going to take your scribbling. I'm going to take, I want to take a couple of photos of the water, and I might even take 3 photos and let people on Instagram decide which one gets to stay up.
Great idea.
You know, I'm going to look for context, for story, for meaning, for beauty, for chaos. It's probably going to be a long exposure of the ocean, but not long enough that it looks silky. It will be long enough that the chaos is captured. Something you can't do normally without a tripod and without a stopper filter thrown on and a polarizer to be able to look through the water as well, which means it gets rid of the glare while still also giving you stop motion, which gives you that beauty.
Yep. You are very good at it. You like to make things difficult for yourself, though.
I like to get rid of 5 pieces from each Lego device that I buy.
Yeah. That's like me trying to repair things. I always end up with spare parts.
Me too. Hey, Lee Dog, here you go, mate. Love dogs. 3rd round. Hippie. Hypey. Okay, hype. Flubba dubba. I saw I had a message from you before, mate, but I was flat out on phone calls. You know, I barely got any time today to lift my head above the surface.
Yeah, and Nicole, wait, he found the phone number before he apologised. So
that's
a message through.
That's awesome, mate. I look forward to it, and I look forward to talking with you, mate. And we'll definitely lock that in this weekend, You're going to enjoy it. Nicole King, I love the darker photos. Need to see more of these. You talking about your ocean ones, or you talking about my serial killer looking ones?
I think moody ones. A lot of your photos are very moody, and they're very good. You know I love all your photographs.
Well, when we were looking at the music today, thanks for that, Lauren. When we were looking at the music today, the one thing that I couldn't help but notice was if you're an expert at anything, team, and I don't doubt that everyone in the chat has something they're particularly good at. We all seem to land on our feet with something through perseverance or through born with it, genetic skill, hard work. I've noticed, and I spoke to Lauren a little bit before, that normally the worst people to be able to critique something are the experts at it. The reason is there's no enjoyment in it anymore. What it does is becomes that chasing the dragon to get the perfect photo, to get that perfect song.
Yep.
So we look for errors instead. If you're those that can't sing it, they are the best judge because they're the ones that buy the music. They're the best judge because they are moved by something they don't necessarily know about, but the ingredients of different is better are there. You know how sometimes you see something that stops you in your tracks?
Yep.
You know, that happens.
It's like with the Archibald Prize, the art prize. I often find I like the People's Choice painting more than all the others.
Yeah.
And that's the one that people vote on.
Well, tell us this. How come since this time of craziness, Hollywood gone mad, how come the best film normally goes to something that hasn't come out in the cinemas yet? How's that even possible? If the people haven't voted...
It's probably already decided.
But it shouldn't come from the Actors Guild. It shouldn't come from directors. It comes from who the people think is the best movie.
Well, that's why we got Rotten Tomatoes. That's where the people vote. We vote for what the worst movies are.
I've never done the Rotten Tomatoes thing. Imagine if they did Rotten Tomatoes of our stream.
It depends on which stream they catch, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Nicole King said she likes the spooky ones.
Spooky ones. Oh, I tell you, that when I went out to that asylum and took the photos, that felt dark there. To know that people have literally screamed for help there, you know, and then been found months later, deceased, when no one actually even knew whether they were crazy or not.
I would really love to take you down to Port Arthur. I'd love to see you photographed there.
I'd love to do that.
beautiful place. You could get some really nice spooky ones there.
Right on. I tell you what, if I'd have had the camera with me in Rwanda to do proper photography,
Yeah.
it would have been insane. The
Yeah.
human, you would have had to have divorced yourself from the emotion of the moment because it would have been too much.
Yeah. Too bleak. Yeah.
Yep. You'd end up
Even
with Time magazine saying, "Give me some of those." You know.
exactly. Yeah.
We actually had when Cabello was dying down, which was the massacre that happened to him in just before Anzac Day in 1995. We had the world's news teams fly in from all over the world. Black Lives Matter didn't matter that day, clearly, and they came in and they were begging us. They were saying, if you have any photos that you're not telling us about, if you have any video that you're not telling us about, we're telling you, open check. We will give you whatever you have captured in this last couple of days. They said we will pay anything.
It was unbelievable, and I think if any of now where you can just whip out a phone.
It's weird. The Kodak wind on.
I remember them.
This 1 megapixel photo.
Exactly, and the VCR recorders. It wouldn't have been practical.
Hey, one hit 23, I think it says, is saying go to Beechworth Asylum.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Where it is, I don't know. Find out. Give it a whirl. You might capture a ghost on one of your photos. That'd be great.
I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in dark presences.
Well, yeah, that's right. It doesn't matter. Maybe some of your viewers out there have some spooky photos that they've taken. They should send them in to us.
Yeah. It's I've been in some places where that there necessarily hasn't been anything dark happen, but you can feel some really heebie-jeebie shit going down.
Yeah.
And
it's like it has a memory of negative energy. Yeah.
Hey, Jetty boy. Hey, Kaz, just got through my assessment day. I got my direct entry scheme for Commando. I'm keen as, mate. Thanks for the advice, Jetty. That's fantastic. There's only one scarier thing than getting the heads up for that, is realising how much hard work you have ahead of you.
Yeah.
Now, guys and gals, when you go to the School of Kapuka or Infantry, and you have people from the 2 Commando pre-selection or the stream selection process to get them in there, you'll see they are different. They are big, they are fit, they are focused, they are intelligent, they are strong, and they are driven. And a lot of them don't get in. So that should give you a little bit of a hint at the quality that John West rejects. And some of the best people are let down by gravity. Hurts them when you don't heal correctly. When sorenesses become injuries, when just training hard takes its toll. There is a toll. There is a mathematical number of the amount of people that won't get through because serendipity. It's going to happen. The same injuries seem to happen. It's through realistic training. Just a quick overview of what we're talking about for those that have jumped into this one. The Australian Fit to Fight. You need to be able to ask yourself, are you ready to go in? Tell yourself exactly how long it takes you to do a 2.4 3-kilometre run. Exactly how many push-ups you can do in 1 minute. Exactly how many chin-ups you can do, how many dips you can do, how far you can swim without a break doing freestyle or breaststroke. How long can you platform for? The more of these details you know, the amount of times you beat your own personal best, the time that you spend on beating your personal best, and then working on sessions which is all about form to make sure you go down to 90 degrees, then back to the full upright position using only the sanctioned rest stops for push-ups. That is where you'll gain your confidence from. And once you know that you can do it and there is no dramas, then it becomes a competition to come first. And if you think you've got a crack at coming first, then your chances of worrying about anything are almost over. You can enjoy the ride.
Yeah, easier said than done, though.
Easier said than done. But that's how I lived. I turned up there And
all action, all focus.
yeah, there's Jen after Next Tactics. What was the mission in Rwanda? Humanitarian liberation or something else? I don't know if it was any of those.
Yeah.
On paper, it was humanitarian, but our rules of engagement was we are not to help anyone that is a Rwandan national. Our job was to protect people that were coalition forces only.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry that was really awful.
Me too. We had no warning of that. We had no warning of what it was. I didn't know where Rwanda was.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it before.
Here's one that people don't know. We got sold out down the drain by Qantas. I've never forgiven Qantas for this.
No.
Qantas got the gig to fly us into Kigali, and what they did, they sold us out. They took the money, and then they go, okay, like for example, if we get $10 million to fly them, all of these soldiers over of both contingents and land them into the war zone in Kigali, then what we're going to do, America, what is the cheapest and worst safety record airline? That's Tower Air. Tower Air, how much would you accept to go and fly Australian troops over to Kigali? 6 million? Sounds good. Your deal. Qantas kept the change, and they flew us over on an airline that was so bad that we were flying over where there was, depending on rank, it was always private soldiers got it worse, had the oxygen mask that hangs down, hanging up just in front of their face, hanging down the entire 20 plus hours that they were flying. There was also smoking in the plane. So if you were a private soldier and you sat at the back of the plane, you could be one seat in front of where the smoking section was. So for over 20 hours, it was like you were sitting in a smoking room. And even the smokers couldn't handle being down there, and they'd go back to their seat that their rank allowed them to have in front of you. You know, it was goddamn terrible. Every time you flew over a country that wasn't an ally of Australia or the Commonwealth, you had to change out of your uniform back into civilians. And then they'd go, okay, we're over that now, back into uniform in case a plane crashes and you were found in uniform, not in uniform.
God.
And then we turned up with no weapons. And,
oh, really?
And the RPA, the Rwandan Patriotic Army, were there, and we were told, do not refer to them as enemy. You know?
Yeah.
And they were walking around shouldering us, trying to be, intimidating.
I would have been exhausted by the time you got there from all of that. Kind of helped.
I think we were just angry. You know, we were so excited, getting ready to go on the great adventure.
Yeah.
Turning up to a whole city that was completely blacked out, but you can hear all the noises of a functioning city with bullet holes and RPG holes in everything. And it wasn't until the next few days that we saw that, just how much damage there was and how much human depravity there was. You know,
awful. No, I'm really sorry you had to experience that. But we all thank you for your service and your mates who went.
Yeah, I don't know. I always hit really weird with it. You know, we were the highest paid soldiers in the world, and getting told not to help. It sucked.
Yeah, no, that's like against human nature. Anyway, moving right along.
Yeah. Daz reckons he's got some couple of cool, old, spooky places out here in the bush.
Yeah. Daz, you need to get out there and take some photos for us.
He does. Daz sends me heaps of stuff.
Well, we need to start sharing them on Patreon or something,
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, folks, photos, yeah.
The only problem is, team, like, there's so much things I want to do, but there's only one me.
Yeah.
You know?
Something, Pure Elf Studios. I wonder how people treat vets in public. Well, usually they don't know, you're a veteran, do they? You're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Do they ever salute them? I think you'd feel weird if civilians saluted you, wouldn't you?
No, shit, no. No,
you don't want to be saluted, that's...
No, not at all. But I will tell you something. It can't be too bad, because I'll tell you something. My car has got Army Veteran on it, and it's got my 2nd Battalion sticker.
Yep.
There's never been any damage to my car. There's never been a drink poured on it.
No, exactly.
Occasionally, I get a thumbs up and a beep beep, and I'm not sure if it's road rage or someone saying, "G'day, cobber."
I think generally Australia, we love our veterans.
Yeah.
You know, we have a pretty close connection to them, really. When you see some other countries where they're totally disenfranchised, I think in Australia, we generally, most people do love our veterans.
I think so, because we don't do anything to anyone. Yeah.
No, exactly. Well, still us. Yeah.
Except 60 Minutes, they don't like us.
Yeah, they've got their own agenda. They're running their own agenda.
ABF, I've never heard of that one before, mate. Kaz, you've seen much on the war between Armenia. Okay. Yep, I have been. I saw something on that today on Breitbart where it showed people recruiting people for one of the sides. We can't talk about this stuff on here, mate. They will just shut us down straight up. You know, for those that don't know ABF, what ABF's talking about, if we talk about certain issues, the algorithm would pick us up and cut us off that quick. That's not what happened tonight. That was an internet dropout. That's all that was.
Yeah, this was something different. This is just good old Australian internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daz, it was a situation that got harder with time. It wasn't while you were there. While you're there, there is a famous saying that God is not here. You know, and it doesn't feel like he's there either.
And it felt like it was because it was only this year, wasn't it, that there was some recognition for what you guys did, and that seems a little late to me.
But it also seems a little bit dirty, because when people give you a reward, is it to shut you up, or is it because they actually mean it? That's what we got. I've never worn it before. It's a citation for Rwanda. Yep. Okay, they gave us that one, and it was one thing that was really beautiful, really, really beautiful, was there's a soldier in the Australian Army, and he was actually in Rwanda at the time, and an Australian soldier had actually given him his, supposedly given him his Australia flag and said, "You'll be all right. You'll be all right, son. We're here to help." And he remembered, and they migrated to Australia, and he said, "I have to do the same for someone else," and now he's joined the Australian Army.
That just gave me goosebumps. That's the best. Thank you.
Yeah. A position where they allow you to sign back on for the rest of the 4 years as part of that. Awesome. And you'll probably all want to do that. You know, that's the sad thing. Some people don't get to stay signed on. They might choose that you're not ever going to go to a unit because it's too expensive to send you away. For example, if you went to Singleton, with the moment with the quarantines, all that sort of stuff, it might take you 8 or 9 months just to get through training or more. If that's the case, you will never actually go to a unit as gap year. You'll get then you'll be discharged from the military and be fully qualified, but an Army Reserve soldier, you know, and then you go to your nearest unit, and then from there you carry on. Yep. We're going to get going in 15 minutes, team.
Hey, Jay's here. That's always nice.
Jay!
Everywhere in Fremantle's haunted, Jay, I think. Like the Maritime Museum and the jail, they're all really spooky.
I was actually worried about you, Jay. I meant to give you a call today, but again, I've been on the phone all day, mate. Jack Westside, not cerebral palsy.
Yeah, exactly. Jen, after Next Tactics, asked, is it not required to wear that citation on your uniform once it's awarded to you? But you've been out for so long.
It is. It is an expectation that you wear it, yes. It is part of your ASODs, part of your dress standards, etc. You don't get to choose to wear a medal. You know, you've been given it. It's an expectation. And when people say, oh, but, you know, you don't get a saying team. There is no political view you have in the Army. You have to have it. You're just not allowed to represent it. And you're not allowed to degrade a mission or a deployment by saying, I will not wear that. They'd go, yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. You know, get out then. You know, because that means you're also disgusted with the rest of the people. I wouldn't do that to everyone, but I'm not in, so I don't have to wear it.
Exactly. Gibrel, it was buffering when you answered his question.
Okay, where is he? Hey, Kaz, what happened after Kapuka Singleton for the gap year? Mate, there is no after gap year. You know, you're then discharged from the Army and you'll then become a full-time Army reservist. Okay, you could say a gap year is not regular Army. What it is full-time Army Reserve for 1 year. That's all it is. but you're doing the regular courses. Okay? This is designed so if someone was doing a gap year, as it says, and you're going to have a career that's going to go on from there, and you're deciding not to go into the regular army, that you would go in there to get the full qualification, straight up, the full experience, and then come straight out of there into Army Reserve, and then you've got that full qualification there where you'll turn up, uniforms, all good to go, fully qualified, and probably even get promoted in a couple of years after that. You know? Yeah. It's a way of getting it done and balancing out a professional career with a military career.
Hey, Brent Mayol has said, "Hey Kaz, after enlistment, I'm going back to my unit instead of Kapuka. I was told this after passing my PFA, but I have a mate in the defence and says it's not normally what's done."
Hey Kaz, after enlistment, I'm going back to my unit. That's never done.
Yeah. What is that? What's happening there?
Instead of Kapuka, going back to my unit instead of Kapuka. After my enlistment, no.
Well, we don't know. Tell us more, Brent. What's going on there?
No, that's impossible, Brent. You can't go back to unit. You don't have a unit before Kapuka. Are you talking about Army Reserve or regular Army? Because even in the regular Army, they can't really take you seriously until you've actually done your Kapuka. And the reason why that is because you don't know how to wear a uniform, how to walk, how to talk, how to answer the questions, or anything about the military system. You don't have a unit at all until you've finished Kapuka or your ITs, right, if you're in the regular Army.
Army Reserve.
Okay. Yep. So what happens is you'll do your oath or affirmation. That's fine. That's true. With Army Reserve, what'll happen is you will not get a uniform. You will get nothing. You will turn up on Tuesday nights, one weekend a month, etc., as they direct you, and that will happen until you actually have dates to go to Kapuka. And once you get to Kapuka and you come back, then you'll have a uniform. All right? That's the way it works. And it's to stop people from being imposters and going around for those Instagram moments when they don't know anything about wearing that uniform and discrediting the army. You know? Yeah.
Exactly. Everyone's asking me about the weather. Tassie Devil asked if I got hit by that rain. You know I did. I got hit. It's not stopped raining. Our river is flooding. It's been wild, the weather lately here. But it's good. We need the rain. We are in drought. So it doesn't look like we're in drought because everything's so green, but we are.
We're getting none up here.
Oh, we really need it. Apparently we're looking for a very wet summer, which might be a blessing in disguise.
Look, I hope so. I hope it's not Red State wet. What's happening over there? No worries, Brent.
Yeah.
We even had so much as a truckie's bloody sweat trail, over here.
Really?
No.
Oh my gosh. Gibrel has asked, can't you join the regular army after the gap year?
No.
There you go.
No, it's you're signing on to do a year instead of 4 years. Your enlistment, you're only signing on for 1 year. So there may be a time, or there may not be an opportunity where they will go, who in the gap year wants to actually sign on for the 4 years? Okay, after you've done successfully your School of Infantry. They should not let you necessarily until you've passed. It's a smart way if you haven't passed your training to get people to do gap year. Then if they don't pass it, it costs nothing. A year goes by, you're out, rather than hold on to you for 4 years if you're unsuccessful in the system. But in the gap year, they may give you an opportunity to sign on, and you realise halfway through doing your IET training, you know what? This is actually what I want to do for the rest of my life. I don't want to try before you buy. This is what I want. Or what you thought before, that I want to go and do a trade and I want to have this as well. I want to be a cop and I want to do this as well. Nah, this is it. Can I please sign on for the rest of the 4 years? They might go, yeah, no worries, mate. And then you'll slip into the different system. And then you'll get posted to a unit, and then you'll still have 3 years plus of that obligation, and life goes on like normal. Yep. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. And that's what Brett's saying, forget the gap year and go full time.
Yep. But the thing is, there's a separate set of amount of position numbers in gap year. An example was when infantry was full, not very long ago. Gap year wasn't, because it still had some positions set aside. So what they were saying to people is, if you come over to gap year, that might be a way to weasel your way back in and have a full-time career. So try that, but it's a dangerous one because you've actually signed a contract, and they can wave that in front of you and go, it doesn't matter what people said, your signature is on this contract.
Yeah, and that's risky.
So ask the necessary questions.
Yeah, Jetty, who I think was the one with the 2 commando before, said, Kaz, he runs 10Ks every morning, preparing plus 2 hours in the gym. He actually got recommended the direct entry, which I'm very, and I can't see that's where his message cuts out.
Okay, Jetty, if that is in fact what you do, can I give you a recommendation? And the second thing is, will you listen? You don't need to run 10 kilometres a day. What I want you to do is a run of 5 kilometres to intensity is better than a long, slow 10 kilometre run, or even a fast 10 kilometre run. What do I mean? You have like 18 months of really, really goddamn hard yakka waiting in front of you, mate. What I don't want to see you do is wear your body down. We talk about training smart. Train hard, but train smart. Try not to get too big. What you need to be is CrossFit, functional fitness, but not have your body. You don't see Conor McGregor train that hard a whole year before a fight. 6 weeks out, he'll train, he'll maintain, but then 6 weeks out, bam, specific focus on that individual, that mission. So you won't be able to maintain any of this in Kapuka. You won't be able to maintain any of this in the School of Infantry when you go there. So just pump the brake a bit, pump the brake, know what your times are, maintain intensity, but pull off on the reins a little bit, mate. That's training smart.
You don't want to get that close and then hurt yourself. Nicole King seems to know what's going on with the gap here. She said you can go full-time. After it, you need to recommend for full-time also at recruiting.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know anything of this stuff.
Yes, you can, mate. You need to recommend for full-time also at recruiting. So what that means is they can say that we recommend you for gap year, but not full-time. And the reason why they say that is your gap year might not be attached to a position number in the Army. There's full-time course it goes through, and there's gap year allocations. If there is still room for that, they might go, yeah, of course. You might even get pressured and asked as a gap year person, hey, how many of you want to come and sign this and stay on?
Yep. Yeah. But if you're thinking you might want to stay on, then just jump in.
When you get the opportunity. The thing is, the thing is that, you need to be upfront. You need to let them know. If you want to stay on longer, you make sure they get sick of hearing the squeaky wheel, so they know absolutely that you didn't want gap year, but you were told that was the only way you could get in.
Yeah, that's like everything in life. The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Jetty says, stocked about since I was going to go to infantry for 4 years before I went for selection.
That's the rest of his comment before, which I'm very stoked about.
I was stoked about.
Yeah, since I was going to go infantry for 4 years before he went to selection, so he's actually
awesome
going ahead of his goals and his plans.
Well,
so go steady.
Well, Jetty is a fitness guy, also as a singleton instructor, and also platoon sergeants, and someone that's worked with probably a lot of the people that are actually into commando now. Mate, I'd tell you, stick with what I said, get yourself to where you need to be, then pump those brakes, because you've got a long time ahead of you, young fella, and you got to get your Skippy badge first. You got to get your Kapuka hat badge, the RA Inf hat badge. Then you've got to get your Skippy badge, and then after the Skippy badge, then it works even harder, and then you're going to be competing against Royal Australian Regiment soldiers who have already had rank, operational deployment experience. Which means you're going to be basically drinking out of a fire hose for the next 2 years. Hats off to you. Awesome. I can't wait to hear your
Yeah,
stories.
keep us updated because we'd like to come with you on that journey for sure.
And I believe the Ant Middleton SAS Australia, the civilian ex-SASR Ant Middleton from the UK, operational badass, is coming over to do the civilian SAS training, and I believe that Chappelle Corby is going along for some
Oh
attitude
yeah,
adjustment.
I heard of that, but I don't know who he is. I don't like watch a lot of TV.
Ant Middleton
Mm.
is basically the kryptonite of those that call themselves ISIS, etc.
Oh,
He is the guy that they sat him down on TV in the UK because he's got this show as well,
yep.
and he was on there with his wife, and they said, "Do you feel bad for all the lives you took for all that?" He goes, "No," and said,
No.
"Nah," and he admits that he's excited, he loved it, and these beta left leaning sort of people, the look on their face when they had someone who looked like he liked his chicken raw, just looking them straight in the eye.
Doesn't mean he's going to go on a rampage with civilians. Big difference.
That's right.
Between a professional soldier and a murderer.
That's
massive difference.
That's why I wish that I was allowed to have a firearm. I'm more qualified than the police.
Yep.
I've never had an incident on operational tour where I've had an unlawful situation. So now why shouldn't I be allowed to have the weapon that made me feel like home in me bed with me?
Yep.
Making it the safest street in the town.
Yeah. Jay cracks me up. He said, "I bet she won't be taking her boogie board." Miss Jay.
I think she's 43 years old, and I reckon she looks like she's about bloody 63, and looks like she's been using cement as makeup.
That would be nice. That wouldn't. She's had it would be hard.
She's had a self-inflicted hard life.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just, I try not to judge folk. If someone gets a second chance, I just hope they make the best of it.
Hasn't she stuffed up a few times since then?
I don't know. I don't really keep up with that sort of stuff. Oh, look, there's a
Beast
cow.
mode. Hey, Kaz, cool fact. Ant Middleton was not SAS, he was Special Boat Service. There you go.
That's
okay.
special.
Only Billy from the show was SAS from the show. There you go.
I like him already, though.
Not so cow. Not so cow.
I accept. It's if you've never watched anything on Ant Middleton, just look it up. And I can tell you, the one thing he can't stand is if you back answer, if you jack on your mates, or you lie. If you lie about your service, or you lie that you haven't had service, that you've got it, or you have excuses, he loses his shit. And you can see that. Sorry?
Who would be that stupid to lie to someone like him about their service?
But you don't expect it to almost come to the stage where you're going to get knocked out. He actually really loses it, and you can tell that they're thinking he's actually going to get me.
Well, maybe they should, because it's an awful thing to do. Hey, Kurt Walker has said, "Hey, Kaz, my enlistment is November the 2nd. Congratulations."
That is the day before the big red man steps back up, walks down an escalator, and says, "Free world." Represent.
Right before the election. Have you got some extra exercise advice when it comes to cardio? Your input would be much appreciated to the training I'm doing now.
Look, mate, all I say is less is more. And when I say by that, because the UK, they train too hard at their cardio, I believe. I'd say change it up. Go between boxing, go between circuits, which are hard now because of social distancing, etc. But you can set up a little. Look at these guys on this barrel here. You can set up your own little circuits of shit to do. Doing anything is still going to give residual benefits on everything. So what I say is train. Just train. Push-ups, dips, sit-ups, running. The running, instead of just going for a run, tell yourself, have a warm-up through the day. Don't run until after 4 o'clock in the afternoon so that synovial fluid inside your limbs is saying, I'm good for a run now, Dad. And then get a mate to stay there. Put a video camera up to laugh at you, what your face looks like on the way back. Put a GoPro on if you want on your forehead so you look like a Dalek. and then run as hard as you can and come back, and that becomes your time. And if you want to do that 2 or 3 times, you probably don't have the pluck to do it 3 times a week, because to run your hardest in something, it hurts.
Yep.
It really hurts.
Excellent. I hate running. Nicole King seems to know what's going on with that show. She said Chappelle didn't last long, and also some model chick complained about the bruises she got. What were they expecting, I wonder?
I would love to take celebrities.
Yeah.
I'd love to take celebrities on a defence week, on the defence week that they do at the School of Infantry. When you turn up there and the boss scouts the position, and he turns up there, and then he tells you stand down, and you know where your pits have been spit locked, and it just doesn't stop. There's no breakfast, there's no lunch, there's no dinner, there's no sleep, there's no shelter. It just doesn't stop. My hands feel broken. They could be broken. They could be. Keep going until we find out, bud.
Yeah, exactly.
And just when you think this pit's not getting any deeper, you get called up to go out to the standing patrol. You're going to go out there now, or you're going to start to dig out there for a night, because we need to have a forward position. And then you've got to dig a shit pit, and then you've got to put up wire, and then you've got to do field defences, and then you've got to do staking, then you've got to do patrolling. Okay, and then you might even get moved around to someone else's pit. You lose your shit, and then you might have to go and do ambushing as well.
Yeah. Gabrielle's going to bed. Good night.
Good night, Gabrielle.
Thank you.
It's a lovely name.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of not even. Is it Gabrielle? It's Gabrielle Karim. It is a lovely name. I wonder where it's from.
There's Arjan. There's sorry, Jetty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, talking Jetty. Okay.
Yeah. Everyone's wondering, why can't you get firearms, Kaz? Why can't you do your neighbourhood watch plan?
Because I was kicked out of the military medical discharge for post-traumatic stress disorder. Although there is no link between mental health with soldiers and firearms, there is a link between soldiers, veterans, and PTSD and suicide.
Yeah,
so I don't understand. Do they want it to be worse? If you're going to achieve the mission, you don't need a gun.
You'll find a way, and you do, sadly.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you want me to move along, or are you?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay. Tasmanian Devil has asked, "Hi, Kaz, how long does it take to go from assessment session to Kapuka normally? Is there a normal, I wonder?"
It was supposed to be 6 weeks between U session to PFA to almost get on the bus. That's how long it's supposed to take from Wodago, about 6 weeks. When I did it, it was 1 day, did everything, and then somewhere within the next 3 weeks, your date's going to be oath or affirmation you're in. I don't understand why they've made it so complicated, but it could have something to do with having civilian workers in there, APS people, who are ringing the sponge, and I reckon they could save a lot of money by putting injured people in those positions that can't actually operate within their units, who get sent there temporarily to do that paperwork, computer work, etc. Yep. Yeah.
There you go.
I just don't believe in someone that's never wore a uniform giving you advice on how to wear a uniform. You deserve uniform members to give you the advice.
Look, I agree. Look, that just makes sense for sort of any job, really, any career. You would expect the person who's doing the recruiting to have some inside knowledge of how the job works.
Yeah.
That just makes sense. Let's see what we've got. Oh, do you know what I was doing today, Kaz?
What were you doing today, Lauren?
I was playing XCOM 2 so hard. I loved it. I'm good at it.
It's a good game.
Yeah, I can't wait till we can play together. But apparently we have to be enemies. We have to play against each other.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see who's the last mofo breathing.
That would be, wouldn't that be